5G Apocalypse, the London event, and it augurs the beginning of a tour of cities which we are going to be variously involved with ourselves and helping to orchestrate in the coming months. I salute you, each of you, for coming here this evening and helping to support us and make yourselves heard, make us heard. I'm going to begin a short clip which is excerpted from the film that I made a short while ago called 5G Apocalypse, the Extinction Event. This one has been reduced down to only a few minutes. This is just to help those of you who are not familiar with the full scope of what we're talking about. This clip is designed to contextualize what these presentations this evening are addressing. Thank you.
It's important to understand what the 5G is doing and what they say it's doing. We're told on the IEEE beamforming document that this technology cooked your eyes like eggs in World War II. And you all need to understand these are military weapons. These are assault frequencies. If you garner nothing more than that, that's what you need to know. It's microwave radiation warfare, is what this is.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the National Press Club Federal Communications Commission Chairman Tom Wheeler.
It's an honor to be here at the National Press Club. The first generation wireless, 1G, was voice. The second generation, 2G, allowed both talk and text. The third generation, 3G, the internet, in a limited way. And today's technology, 4G, completed that digital migration. But if anyone tells you that they know the details of what 5G is going to become, run the other way.
Right, let's get a breakdown. Let's tell the people what this really is. This is the 5G transmission device. Blinking heck, that's a hell of a beast, that, isn't it? These are the uninsurable transmitters. Just get a good look at that, guys, because obviously I know there's quite a few experts who want to see more detail about the transmitters and the chipsets. Just have a good look, boys. This is the control management system masquerade. There's an antenna there, you see that? What is this phased array antenna here? What's that? This is for phased array, alright? As you'll see, it's got a driver, it's got some chip there. One chip. Look at the chipsets on this. This is your dystopian world. What did Gated Council say? I'll tell you what, I think we better send some of these educated fools back to school, or just send them to prison, whichever's the easiest. I think prison's probably better. Alright, that's 5G, guys. That's 5G hardware.
On my far left is a man many of you will know already. Certainly he was the central focus in the film that I made, 5G Apocalypse, and that is Mark Steele, who is a weapons expert, a weapons development expert, and an engineer. And you'll be hearing from Mark first. He's got a keynote presentation.
and it's a nice morning. We're going to run through some information here, right? And what I'm going to actually point people to is constitutional law. So we have a constitution in the UK, and what it basically says is, for those that are in position of governance who then don't adhere to their rules and regulations, they then lose that ability. That's forfeited. Yeah. So it's forfeited on the fact that they do not carry out the laws that they have prescribed for themselves and for us, the people, who ultimately are sovereign. So let's have a look at this. These LED street lights, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about 5G and the LED street lighting. They are illegal and unlawful. The technology is absolutely lethal to humans, to wildlife, etc. All those councillors, participation by inactivity is a crime. Anybody that knows about this, and I know that there's quite a few of you who watch my videos, you are acting to support this, the crime against us.
Watch this, right? This is really interesting. I'm going to show you a weapon system it play, all right? And obviously the fools that are behind it haven't really got it, because they're not, you know, we're brains that I've got when we were born didn't actually allow them to think like this. I always think like this. Watch these LED lights. A bit bright, I've got the bluey haze, these are the blue phosphor coated, pretty lethal to watch. See what it says there? Full power to do the most damage. The most retinal damage. I mean, look at that. Pouring mass amounts of lethal blue radiation onto those drivers, unsuspecting. So what they do, when the traffic goes past, obviously they die off a bit. See, it starts to reduce, optical radiation risks start to reduce, and then as soon as the vehicles come back, watch, see it pop up? That is the most dangerous light radiation you could ever be exposed to. That is lethal. That will kill you. These are radar scanners. The radar alone is lethal. It's a category 1 IRC group 1 cancer caused radiation. So they've got scanners scanning the traffic, so pouring radar into those vehicles, and then as the vehicle gets into the trap, they increase the optical radiation hazard to the point where it's catastrophic. You see it's dropped off there? So they're not going to waste any energy unless there's a driver there that they can do harm to. Now we'll go again. Watch. See it pop up? Absolutely lethal. That's lethal. And it's coming to a town near you because of some clown who thinks that they're saving energy. Not saving anything. The scanner uses more energy than a incandescent lamp. It's on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Uses lots more energy than what those incandescent lights ever would. Alright, you see that? Catastrophic.
There's been no safety or risk assessment. This is battlefield interrogation equipment brought to the street near you, uninsurable. Should tell everybody all they need to know. Lloyds alone will not insure any antenna system for harm to a human. The reason for that is because of the harm.
I keep getting questions about this hardware. A lot of fools about, a lot of ignorant fools. That there is a scanner. It's a high gain dielectric lens target acquiring weapon system. That's what that is. That's it there. Look at that capability. And these lunatics, I'm telling you, it's for switching lights on and off. Unbelievable. The stupidity, the ignorance. This is 5G. This is what's situated in your street lights. or a similar version of it. It's part of the weapon system. That's what that is. No ifs, no buts. And only a fool, or somebody controlled by the state, would say otherwise. It's the meat and potatoes bit. That's the illegal antenna there. Absolutely illegal. This is a police officer who's arrived with a council officer, right, to serve a papers on me, right? I've told them, I'm telling you now, I've taken legal advice, they can put it in the paper. I'm not accepting the document. That could have Novichok, it could have, for all I know, weapons grade anthrax. Yous have acted illegally, right? These councillors have acted illegally. They've rolled out the technology on top of the people. That is an offence. It's a crime against humanity. It's a crime against humanity. I've taken legal advice. There they go. I've taken legal advice. Accessories and Abettors Act 1861 was amended by the Criminal Law Act 1977. Your inactivity is a crime. This is a human rights crime. It's an environmental crime. Your inaction, right, by inactivity is a crime. Beware. This is a court case where the CPS are relying on Aleph VDPP. You see that? I want people to go and have a look at that and the implications of that to find me guilty of a section 4. I was found guilty and convicted of that crime. However, the judge wouldn't allow me to bring any of the evidence that would show that the inactivity, the participation of those councillors in this crime is in fact a criminal offence. Well, I think people need to start asking elected officials where all the birds has gone. No, need to ask them, where have all the sparrows gone? I predicted it, and I'm not a soothsayer. I didn't look in the crystal balls when we measured the radiation in bedrooms across Gateshead from the 5G, the illegal, unlawful fitments on top of the streetlights. Radiation levels were large enough to kill small pollinators and obviously birds. There's not a single bird, not one. People need to take a serious look around them instead of putting their head in the sand. Right? 5G will kill you. Look at this. Not a single bird. Listen. Shh. Listen. Listen. Hear the kids. Not be hearing them for much longer. Shh. Where's all the birds? Now look. If people can't get their head round, right? No birds. Not a bird. No sparrows. Not a bird. We've been here nearly all day. Never seen one. Not one, mate. Not one. Load of little kids kicking around. Not a load of little birds. But considering we've got the highest infant death rate in the country, not surprised. Because the criminals who installed this urban radar, illegal, unlawful technology. You can see the trees at the far side of it. It's illegal, unlawful technology, right? And no bees. No bees, no wasps. Unbelievable. Not a wasp, not a bee. Nothing. I need birds. Loads of little kids need birds. Where's the birds? Shh, listen. Listen. not a bird. Can people not wake up? Can you not wake up? Are you that dead? Are you that dead you can't wake up? Because I'll tell you now, 5G's a kill grid. Just hasn't killed you yet. But it'll be making you sick. Sore eyes, bad heads, neurological disorders, mental health issues, ringing in the ears, tinnitus, fatigue, out of sorts, all that sort of stuff. Let's take that tree. Fatigued, stress, dying. Take a look up. All you have to do is just look up. And the choice that you have, join the resistance, send an email, info@saveusnow.org.uk for your documents. However, the appeal is on the 24th January 2019. Let's see something different. It's quite a number of crimes that these characters have committed. Human rights crimes. They've actually basically run roughshod over the rule of law. A number of parliamentary acts, human rights acts, Article 174 European Community, and a number of directives. Absolutely unbelievable forgery they have committed. Another serious offence. This was the forgery that was put out on the 9th of April. It is a total and absolute fabrication and forgery and a lie. Nothing in there is correct. This was entered as an exhibit in the court by the council to try and hoodwink the judge. Alright, anybody want to need to look around? Listen, no birds. No birds, as predicted. You've got two choices. There's a line being drawn. You either want to die, or you want to live. It's quite an easy choice. Do as you're told and die. Join the resistance and live. I've had a lot of people ask me about the metering system and how we measure. You know, so a lot of people getting concerned about 5G and they're buying metering equipment. They really just don't have much idea. So I'm going to try and put it into perspective. There's lots of ways to measure microwave radiation and energy. But what I'm going to try and do is make it as simple as possible, because it is complicated and we'll start getting into some complex conversations. So let's keep it simple. This is a tri-field meter, alright, and you'll see that's 8600, it's millivolts per meter squared, alright. Now that's basically just energy in air, because that's what we're talking about, basic physics, basic energy in air, alright. What I'm going to do, I'm going to show you up these stairs, alright, and as we start to rise, there's obviously the transmitters on the outside of the house. The higher you get up into the home, you can see the start of radiation levels increasing significantly, alright? That's illegal. Now the IC and IRP guidelines that these characters at your local authorities and government are referencing, IC and IRP do not guarantee, do not stand by the statements they make. When you have to look at their website, it actually states quite clearly in their legal get-out clause, they are not to be relied on. But for some inexplicable reason, we've got agencies dishonestly using the IC and IRP guidelines as some reference point for safety. They are not. It is dishonest in the first instance and potentially a criminal offence. That number there, 700, the maximum you can be exposed to, the 1815 resolution, the international courts and the recent guidelines from the European guideline European Guideline 2016. These are the latest data on this type of radiation. 200 is the maximum. This is one house in Gateshead. Alright, so high I'm getting up. That's because we're getting closer to the antenna's potency. The antennas are round about this height. Yeah? See that? This is what's going on in homes right across Gateshead, causing nosebleeds, neurological disorders. That's in millivolts, and the reason millivolts per square metre, and the reason I'm measuring that is because the Council of Europe have stated that 200 millivolts per square metre is the maximum you should be exposed to for long term. Now, these buttons allow you to change over from a number of different metering, but the normal metering setting as you switch it on is millivolts. So if you stick to that, it's simple, and you have a reference point to the Council of Europe 1815 resolution to show that this is absolutely illegal. They have turned our communities into microwave radiation ovens, and this will harm you, this will kill your pets, this will damage your children. The radiation levels here are absolutely catastrophic. We have babies living in this environment. The ICNIRP guidelines were only ever attributed to exposure to 200-pound meals, not children, not your pets. So when your cats and your dogs are getting cancer, believe us, you know where the blame lies. This radiation is catastrophic. It's all part of the smart grid, smart meter. Anybody who gets a smart meter, get them removed. Everyone that's in the community causes an increase. This will increase and increase and increase with every meter that's put in. Those meters have 15 to 20 mile radius. So if someone gets one put in some little village 15 mile away, you get the impact in your home. This is absolutely illegal, and that's why they're operating the sub-gigahertz, because nothing stops it. That's the smart agenda. People need to watch this and share it. Millivolts is the measurement. These tri-field meters pick it up in the sub-gigahertz. So don't worry about the higher frequencies that you can't measure out of 5G. It is a smoke screen anyway. This will kill you if we don't stop it. But listen to this. We are far too early. We have caught these red-handed in their criminal enterprise. We need to band together. Get it stopped. It's fight back time.
That's a lot of birds. Yeah, obviously don't let them hit you. There's something wrong with them.
Yeah.
But it's a whole flock.
Yeah.
That's odd.
It's been going on for the last hour.
Oh, they've been out here for an hour doing it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, look at them all. Look there. I was like, you were inside, right? Is that what you heard? You heard a bunch of... Look. Oh my God. No, this is like something of a movie. This is crazy.
Yeah, I feel like this is like the end of the world right now.
Right, like this is where it starts. This is where it starts. This is not okay.
Fortunately for Gateshead Council, the recorder Nolan QC wasn't a fool, because a lot of people have been fooled by this forgery. However, the judge didn't get fooled by it at all, and he demanded in that court, he stated that Gateshead Council had to open up the democratic process. They haven't done that. In fact, what they've done, I get this letter sent to me, leaflet distribution on council land. You don't have any authority at all. This was delivered to my address. That's the envelope there, to Mark Steele. A handwritten letter, no stamp, no Gateshead Council on the top, from a chap called M.A. Barker. Well, sadly, I got some information this morning, and that information was of 4 people known to 1 person in Bristol who've all just recently developed brain cancer. They'll be dead by Christmas, alright? So that's 1 person in Bristol who knows 4 people who have just developed brain cancers and will be most certainly possibly dead by Christmas. Alright, we've known of a number of people who've got aggressive brain cancers in Gateshead, and unfortunately 2's already dead. There's 2 others who have just developed brain cancer, so that's another 4. Now, it's impossible. The only reason it's happening, because of this. These localised illegal fitments. 5G is illegal, it's untested, unregulated. Your councils are lying to you. We've had loads of nonsense, loads of lies, but this is just a quick one. The information on here, people need to get organised. We have to be the resistance, because nobody's coming to help. Alright, nobody's coming to help. The 5G space appeal, 160,000 experts and scientists are calling for a moratorium on 5G. Nobody's listening. Alright, they're not listening for a reason, because we've caught them out in a crime, an illegal crime. People have been contacting the local police about the genocide that's been perpetrated on them, from street furniture that's emitting radiation into their homes, which is illegal in breach of the Council of Europe 1815 resolution. That is the international courts. Levels of radiation are illegal. This type of offset signal causes heart cancers, causes significant number. All these illnesses, bad heads, anxiety, depression, sore eyes, you name it. Microwave radiation is a stressor. They may have built your home, you may as well be living under a high-powered cable. You wouldn't be stupid enough to do that, and you wouldn't know the risks. This radiation's far more dangerous than that, a lot more dangerous. It is danger, non-ionizing radiation. Anybody that says that's not the case, I can tell you, this breaches the ICNIRP guideline. The antenna design is illegal. It's the reason why councils, Gateshead, are actually replacing that antenna, because obviously they understand that it's an illegal fitment, so they're replacing for something just as dangerous but not as obvious that it is a part of a weapons program. Alright, now they're supposed to be bankrupt, they're supposed to be skint, but they're spending tens of millions of pounds on fitting illegal equipment to harm you and replace it, and that's why the lights are on all over. That'll tell anybody that these are not control light management systems, as your council have been told, because obviously they don't work. The lights are on. They're on for a reason. They're on for a reason. They don't work, and they are lighting up people's knowledge and the fact that it's not a control light management system at all. It's part of a 5G crime committed on the people. M.A. Barker, I don't even know if that's his signature. Is this from you, Mike? Because this looks like a stamp. We're not really sure, there's no reference. This doesn't make any sense. And this was delivered by a person dressed up as a police officer. That in itself is a crime. I'm reporting this as a crime, and I believe it has been reported as a crime. Men dressed up as police officers come into my home to deliver this. Northumbria Police have no knowledge of this, so that would suggest that either this is a complete forgery and it's not from Michael Barker, it's from someone else at Gateshead Council. I believe it may not be from Mike Barker. There's no reference, there's no headed piece of paper. This was actually hand delivered by a person wearing a Northumbria Police uniform. Contact info at, we've got lots of these leaflets coming now, so you send an email to info@saveusnow.org.uk. We're asking for donations so that we can actually send these out to people, depending on how many you want. Alright, so we can get them done and we'll get more information out, because unfortunately the mainstream media are ignoring this crime.
They're touching on it, but they're not saying exactly what it is. 5G's been deemed as a crime against humanity in a recent international legal ruling in Denmark. Alright, it's not the only one. It's in breach of the Nuremberg Code, this experimental technology, and most certainly breach the Nuremberg Code. And believe you me, if you do not want to die, get involved with resistance, because I'm telling you now, you're home, everything you're going to lose. Hi everybody, we're outside the hospital here. Obviously there's a large transmitter there halfway down the street. But what I'm going to show people, right, this is the toxic level of microwave radiation in air, right, from these transmitters, alright? So what we'll do, look, you see that? Right, you see that level there? It's 7,000 millivolts, 9,000 millivolts, 10,000 millivolts. That is catastrophic to life. Absolutely catastrophic to life, and as you'll see, there's no birds. There's nothing around here, there's no life. Right, there's no life. It's actually on the top of these street lights. We've got the 868 sub-gig on the lights. This is Newcastle. This is St Thomas's in Newcastle. You've got it all over. Right, there's quite a few people thought it was a bit of a jape there because we just had it in Gateshead, and obviously I think the people in Gateshead are stink pots, so nobody's really concerned about them all dying from the cancer. Well, this is the RVI in Newcastle, and as you can see, that radiation's catastrophic. Alright, that fence, there should be a fence around that transmitter, a significant fence. Well, we were what? 60, 70 metres away there at least. Is this another stroke victim being going into the hospital there? Because that radiation causes a bleeding on the brain. It causes an increase in blood pressure. So obviously that's pretty obvious for anybody. You don't have to be a scientist to know that microwave radiation, it expands the blood, so it increases your blood pressure. Pretty obvious to anybody that. You don't have, like I said, you don't have to be a scientist. Microwave radiation in air is lethal. Don't let these liars tell you it's not. And the ICNIRP guidelines are not for this type of technology. So any MP that tells you about ICNIRP, they're only for 6 minutes. Ask them if the transmitter at the end of your street's on for 6 minutes, or the one on the top of the street light that just fitted on for 6 minutes. It isn't. That means they're either stupid, complicit, or completely mentally retarded. Might be the mentally retarded bit that we'll have to get to grips with. Because that's what the problem is. We've got some completely stupid, ignorant people, but what the problem is, they're covering up a massive crime. 5G is a criminal offence. It's an indictable offence. It is a crime against humanity. It's called genocide. Matter of fact, that radiation you've just seen there will kill. There'll be people walk across past that. It'll damage their cell function. It'll potentially cause them a stroke. And it's right outside a hospital, children's hospital, where children are being exposed to radiation levels that are catastrophic, never been tested. Unbelievable. And could only happen under the watch of criminals. Somebody has a plan to kill you, and what we have to do, we have to stop it. Alright, we have to stop it, we have to bring this to the authorities' attention in numbers, so they must act, instead of sitting on their hands as they are currently, where they've had complaints of genocide and illness and assault from this illegal radiation transmission network, these massive arrays. 31,875 of these transmitters we have in Gateshead in a small area. It's an array. It all works in one. It's one massive 3D mapping, scanning, illegal piece of equipment. That's what it is. And that's what I proved in a court it was. And we have a total shut-in of the democratic process. It's time to act. Northumbria Police have got no record of this. So what I'm going to suggest is another crime. So the criminals behind this forgery, because I know that Sheena Ramsey stated she read this obviously didn't understand it and sanctioned its release. However, most certainly is a forgery, because everything that's in here is a fabrication. Naming Public Health England, who in a predated document sent to councils, shows that those LED streetlights are lethal to humans. Absolutely lethal. So you roll out the technology that is dangerous, you're in breach of all constitutional and administrative laws. Gateshead Council, you are not above the law. As Recorder Nolan stated, the inactivity, the participation by inactivity is a crime. You and anybody in the council are accessories and arbiters to this crime. And what that crime is, Genocide Act 1969, killing members of the group. We know this technology has already murdered a number of people, causes serious bodily and mental harm to members of the group, deliberately inflicting on the group. Now, if Gateshead Council and its councillors hadn't had the scientific documentary of information from me, they could state that they didn't know. However, they have had. It's in breach of the Nuremberg Code. This is an experimental technology that has been shown in all animal tests to harm animals. Human Rights Act. All of these have been in breach. And what that states here in constitutional administrative law, Gateshead Council, if this was from you, which I don't believe it was, I see it as a forgery delivered by someone dressed up as a Northumbria policeman, not a policeman at all. Somebody, I have to believe it to be a forgery, another forgery and a fake document. We need clarification of this, right? Because that is not a real signature. That is a stamp. So we need to find out who is behind this, who is trying to fit up Mike Barker with this document. We need a senior investigating officer to investigate a number of crimes that are being committed at and from Gateshead Council. People are conditioned by what they see, what they hear. All right, well, I'm going to tell you, 5G is a weapon system. All right, it's masquerading as a telecommunication system, but it's actually a weapon. I know that because of the configuration of the equipment, the size and the capacity of it. I can scan your home with a 12-volt scanner. I don't need a piece of 450-volt capacitor on a board to scan your home. I'm telling you now, it's a weapon. Now, building out a weapon system on top of you, and they have declared covert, silent war against the populations of the West, the East. In fact, all biological life is in there, in the crosshairs. Now, obviously, as everybody knows, I've got quite a lot of background in battlefield strategic planning and battlefield weapon systems. So what I'm going to say to people, this is an offensive plan that we must take against the controllers, right? Must. Offence is the best form of defence. Anybody that says otherwise is a fool. It's foolish. It's ridiculous. Doesn't work, never works, never gonna work. We have caught the cabal and the planning and the commissioning of the genocide across the population. Mass genocide. 5G is not a control grid. I keep hearing people talking about control. Sounds like that. And obviously intelligence agencies and your governments think it is a control grid. What they don't know, and what I do know, it's not for that. It's just masquerading as that. It's actually a kill grid. The capacity of the equipment, this goes back to Herman, a Nazi scientist, and the setting of the levels of radiation that you can be exposed to, the 1.6 watts per kilo, 2 watts per kilo in Europe. Right. It's here to kill. So I want people to
get with the message and stop listening to this snowflake, let's have a conversation. I spoke to a guy in Teesside the other day exactly on this particular subject. They are not going to listen. The best form of defence is offence. Anybody that tells me otherwise never been in a battle in their life, alright, and any battle that they have had they've lost. So consequently, offence is the best form of defence. I'm going to say it again, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it again. God didn't put me on this earth because I was a snowflake. He put us here because I am offensive. I'm pretty proud of that offensiveness, and so I should be. Because that's what gets things done, and that's what has got things done, and that's how we have a global footprint in relation to 5G. Because prior to my arrests, prior to my court cases, the ones that I occasioned, Gateshead Council had to have lighting people with police escorts so that they could repair the lighting systems. So that offensive tactic allowed us to get the message out to the wider group. And the more offensive actions that are taken, the more that information will get out. We do not have time to talk. We don't have time to do any more research. The research is damning, the science is damning, the technicalities of the equipment is damning. 5G is a weapon system, it's here to kill you en masse. Get with the programme or get looking at other issues, because this fight is not for you. If you haven't got the fire in your belly to take this fight to the enemy, do something else. But do not hinder and do not stop the actions of others. On the battlefield, anybody that doesn't go on the offensive is actually a coward. It's cowardice. You get shot for it. Just be mindful. We are going on the offensive. Make no mistake about it. If anybody thinks for 1 minute I'm going to allow the government actors and agencies to kill en masse my countrymen, women and children, think again.
Checking my vital signs on my battle lines, going to war again. Feeling the rhythm inside of my chest, all I need is just a pen. I know I was born for this. I know I was born for this. Don't care for the critics, my words are like physics, a force that they can't stop. They just don't get it, I think they forget I'm not done till I'm on top. I know I was born for this. I know I was born for this. To love the pain, we come from different places, but have the same name. Cause we were born for this. We were born for this. We are the broken ones who chose to spark a flame. Watch as our fire rages, our hearts are never tame. Cause we were born for this. We were born for this. I've struggled for years and through all of the tears I faced, the doubts I hide. I never gave in to my fears, people think cause I heard my voice inside. I know I was born for this. I know I was born for this. I will never lose my voice. If I cut out all the noise, I know I was born for this. I know I was born for this. From different places, but have the same name. someone like me to know you're not alone. The moves that you make, yeah, they come up mistakes. Don't ever lose your hope. Just know you were born for this. Just know you were born for this. We are the warriors who learn to love the pain. We come from different places but have the same name. Cause we were